Just before we look at the TA for Bitcoin, don't forget to visit our website, bpoi.uk. Have a look around. Quite a lot of information on the website, and then you've got click here to sign up. So just click on this particular button. That takes you to bpoi.uk join. And then just have a look at the membership plan. So just want to do a month, $40, 6 months, $100, 12 months, $150. And we got some lifetime memberships as well, 49 lifetime memberships left, $200. So well worth the money. And then obviously take a look around the website and look at the different channels. If you want to join our free Telegram channel, just click on this button here. And then as long as you've got a Telegram account, just click on the view in Telegram and that'll take you to our free channel. We do post quite a bit of information in the free channel, and we'll answer any of your questions, whether that be on a setup that you're looking at or something that we've posted. Okay, cheers guys. Evening guys, 22:54 on Tuesday. Just taking another angle at Bitcoin, so cleaned up chart at the moment. Okay, so we've been obviously in this falling wedge, which we've been discussing for, I think, going on months at the moment. I just wanted to have another look at this price action at the moment and just tell you sort of two key levels that I'm looking at. Okay, so we're just going to drill down to the 1 hour chart, okay, because we just need to draw in some trend lines. Let me go to the 4 hour. Okay, so just going to get my trend line tool. I'm going to go from this point, and I'm going to I'm taking the most amount of touches I can on the old candles. Okay, so I'm looking at around about here. Okay, so I'm going to extend this trend line a bit more, like so. So we can see that this is the path that Bitcoin has been following at the moment. Bar this dip below and move back up, you can see number of touches on this trend line right now. Okay, so we have to expect Bitcoin to respect the trend line until it actually breaks down. So possibilities are right now that we'll see another touch of this trend line, potentially a breakout, and Bitcoin will just follow this trend line up at the moment. I'm just going to draw a trend line straight across as well, where we've been seeing the most amount of resistance. So we can see these candles are pretty much lined up perfectly resistance wise. So I'm just going to get my trend line tool. I'm just going to go slightly above where the price action is at the moment. Okay, so essentially an ascending triangle that we're trading in now, which is a bullish pattern. So with an ascending triangle, you get touches top and bottom. Okay, we didn't quite touch the top there, hit the bottom trend line, and then we're just trying to break this upper trend line at the moment. Okay, so the idea here is that Bitcoin may well continue trading in this particular pattern until it breaks out, retests, and starts to move higher. So that's what we're looking for right now. So we're looking for a breakout here, retest, and move higher. We've already broken this upper trend line to an extent. Okay, we've had a number of candles wick above this trend line, but we've never been able to hold the trend line on the 4 hour. So we've always moved down below. So we're looking for at midnight a candle close, ideally above this trend line. And if we can get a candle close above what would be 38,743, let me just draw a horizontal trend line in there. Okay, so around about, I would say, yeah, 38,731. We're looking for candle close above this level at midnight. Okay, if we can get that, and then we can get some volume coming in, then potentially we'll see Bitcoin start to move outside of this falling wedge that it's been trading in for so long. Okay, one thing to bear in mind is the accuracy of trend lines. I just like to think that my trend lines are fairly accurate, but where we drew this trend line early doors, the price action has actually moved above this trend line quite a few times. Okay, so we could be looking at a scenario where we just need to move our trend line. So if I go to this 16-hour chart, let me reset like so. Okay, so I'm looking at the trend line here. I'm just going to draw in one single trend line. I'm going to go from this point here, and I'm just going to take into account this candle and then these candles here. Okay, I'm just going to have this on my chart as a secondary trend line and possible resistance. So I'm going to have that as a dotted line or dashed line like so. Okay, so this is just touching these wicks where we've seen breakouts before or fake outs before that actually haven't broken out. Okay, so if we then go back to our 4-hour chart, we can see here that potentially if we do break out of this ascending triangle, we may well hit resistance on this trend line. Okay, so the bears will be lined up in these areas, so we just need to be appreciative of the fact that there could be a bit more resistance in and around this area here. What we don't want to see is a breakdown back into the pattern and essentially a breakdown of what would be a bullish pattern. If we do see that breakdown of this bullish pattern, then we could see a parabolic move down to these lower areas. Notice on this chart I haven't got any support resistance lines. I'm just taking a new angle, and then tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to redraw I'm going to see what happens overnight, and then I'm going to redraw the entire Bitcoin chart, and then we'll plot all the new support resistance lines, previous support resistance lines, and go from there. Okay, but I just wanted to have a look at this approach just to see what my expectation is overnight. So let's just have a look at the indicators. So 4-hour still overbought. Okay, although it's being pegged to the top, the MACD is bullish and moving higher here, which is pegging the stock RSI to the top. At some stage you've got to expect this to move back down. Okay, you've got to expect the MACD potentially to roll over, possibly turn bullish again, but at some stage these need to reset to oversold before they move up again. If that happens, then obviously, unless we have a lot of volume come in and a strong move up, and then essentially a reset and a move down to then continue higher, there's a strong probability that we're going to test this lower trend line. Okay, let's just have a look at the 1-hour time frame. Okay, so the 1-hour bearish on the MACD, bearish on the stock RSI, no bullish on the stock RSI above 50, but just pointing downwards at the moment. Looks like the RSI. Looks like the stock RSI is starting to roll over. Okay, so keep an eye on the 1-hour as well. The 1-hour is kind of telling us that we may see a touch of this lower trend line again. Okay, so indicators not in our favor for a sort of bullish move up right now. The daily as well. So daily has expressed concern about the daily the other day, but the fact that the MACD is crossing up, we may well see stock RSI pegged to the top, which would suggest on the longer time frames that we do see that movement out and potentially Bitcoin trading outside of this falling wedge that it's been trading in for so long. Okay, but if this crosses and we start to see a roll in this MACD, then potentially you can expect a considerable amount of downside over the next week or so. So it's all for the bulls to do at the moment. We need volume coming in. We're not seeing much volume coming in. It's kind of dropping off. It's kind of waning. Okay, but let's see what happens over the next I would say 8 hours. Are we going to see that breakout, retest, and then move higher? Or are we going to see a touch of this lower trend line and we trade within this pattern for a bit longer before we break out? Or worst case scenario, if you're bullish on Bitcoin, we see a breakout of what would be a bullish pattern. And usually if you see a breakdown of a bullish pattern, you tend to get these very quick parabolic moves down. So we could be seeing the likes of 32 again. Should that happen. Okay, so very, very difficult to say what's going to happen at the moment. The SPX has been trading quite well, actually. I thought it was rolling over. I'm still not convinced, but you can see it was just starting to roll over. Volume was dropping off, price was dropping off, but then we just had this this move up, so this recent move up at 8 o'clock. So the S&P is starting to move again, but remember we've got this trend line just above here, okay, which we've been trading in. So if we go to the 12-hour time frame, for example, we've been kind of trading in this pattern. We almost need another touch and a rejection and a move down to sort of confirm this pattern. So we may well see a breakout of this trend line, but we may well see a rejection of this trend line. And if we see a rejection of this trend line here, then potentially we're looking at a move back down before we move back up again, give or take support levels in between. Okay, so there's a degree of correlation between Bitcoin and the S&P 500, and we just need to keep an eye on that. Bitcoin dominance, where's Bitcoin dominance? Bitcoin dominance has been dropping, so Bitcoin dominance was holding above this level for some time. We've just seen a move down. What we're looking for is for this to continue moving downwards. Altcoins will then start to move a whole lot better. Not moving particularly well at the moment, so a continuation down from Bitcoin dominance, and then the prospects of a bullish Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, sorry, this is my other chart. So Bitcoin moving up would mean altcoins will start to rally. Okay, so we just need to keep an eye on that scenario. What we don't want to see is Bitcoin parabolic drop down and then Bitcoin dominance moving up. So Bitcoin dominance just bounces, starts to move up, then altcoins will get wrecked. Okay, so just keep an eye on Bitcoin dominance as well. Alright, so for now, I'm just going to leave it there. Short video tonight. We just need to see what happens. We're on the verge of breaking out, but we just haven't had that volume breakout. And when there's no volume on a breakout, it's very, very difficult to trade and identify what's likely to happen. So we just got to wait to see whether we do retest this lower trend line, move higher, break out with some volume coming in. We want to see a nice big green volume candle with some volume coming in, retest, and then start to move higher. But we need to make sure if we do start to move down that we don't break down from this pattern. If we break down from this pattern, parabolic move down, okay, we could be seeing this lower trend line of the falling wedge again. So that's what I mean when it's difficult to trade at the moment. We've got no clear indication of the pattern and which way it's heading. Okay, possible rising wedge again here. So let me just very quickly. Down control. So we're potentially trading. This is the 15-minute time frame, but we're potentially trading in this ascending channel. So we're moving this way at the moment. 68% chance that this breaks down this way. Okay, so if we do break out, just remember that we've got this trend line to deal with as well, and this alternative trend line with regards to the bigger pattern. Okay, so just a lot of resistance in this area, which we expect. 40,000, it's going to be key. 38,000, this sort of area, huge amount of resistance. Okay, so let's see what happens. I'll do a full chart tomorrow, and we will start afresh. And hopefully by the end of tomorrow, because you look at this on the short time frames, it paints a completely different picture to essentially what we're looking at on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so let's see what happens here with this particular pattern. This is telling me, along with the indicators, that we're likely to see a touch of this lower trend line. Possible area of value, but high risk just in case we break lower. Okay, so let's keep an eye on it. I'll check back in the morning. I'll post a video in the morning once I've redrawn the Bitcoin chart, and then yeah, let's take a fresh look again. Hopefully we've broken out, retested, and put in a higher high, and just broken past these key resistant levels here, and we're trading this way. Okay, we want to be trading this way, not trading that way. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it there, and yeah, I'll chat to you in the morning. Cheers.